afternoon. My name is Vijay Shankarappa. I've been asked to discuss modern India for you in this 20 hours crash course. Yeah. Huh? Beach mein jana? Okay. Okay. Right. Now, I would like to know, I presume that you know the entire modern India. You have gone through the entire modern India. All of you? Yes or no? All of you. Okay. We will, I have chalked out a few topics for discussion in these 20 hours. And of course, we will also discuss the questions. We'll also discuss those questions, don't worry about that. Now, if you look at modern India, what all are the important topics? First of all, we have European companies. Yeah, you have European companies. So we study European companies. Portuguese were the first to come to India. Portuguese were the first to come to India. Vasco da Gama in the year 1498 discovered a separate route which has come to be known as the Cape Route, a rounding of Africa. And he landed at Calicut. He was received by the Zamorin, the Hindu ruler of Calicut. The title of the Hindu ruler of Calicut was Zamorin. Anyway, so Portuguese were the ones who discovered the Cape Route. Then we have the Dutch. So we'll be discussing, so you all know this, Portuguese followed by the Dutch. Dutch means which country? Netherlands, Holland, orange country. The orange is their national color. Then, of course, we have the English who came next, followed by the Danes. Danes ante? Denmark. Okay, and then French. So that is the order in which they came. Okay, so, but I will stick to English. So this is the order in which they came. There are a few questions in your, which has been shared with me. I will discuss that. So Portuguese, Dutch, English, Danes, and the French, and then of course you have the Portuguese who dominated the Indian Ocean for about 100 years. They were overthrown by the Dutch, isn't it? The Dutch weakened the Portuguese. They conquered Indonesia, they conquered Sri Lanka, which was earlier under the Portuguese. And then we have the English, who defeated both the Dutch as well as the French, and went on to rule this country. Dutch defeated the Portuguese, English defeated both the Dutch as well as the French, and went on to rule this country. We have the Carnatic Wars. 3 Carnatic Wars took place. Carnatic country? What is Carnatic? See, I'm just trying to gauge your knowledge, okay? So that I can relate to all of you. I don't know your names, it doesn't matter, but I'm trying to gauge, because suddenly I cannot jump to the topic. I'm just trying to make an assessment from my side. Carnatic is what? 3 Carnatic Wars took place. Carnatic ante emi? I know which place. Carnatic is the southeast portion of the Coromandel coast, isn't it? Southeast portion of the Coromandel coast. That is called Carnatic, where we have places like cities like Chennai, Pondicherry, or now called Puducherry. All these places are in the Carnatic. So over this area, 3 wars took place. Ultimately, what happened? The French East India Company was defeated by the British, and the French were only confined to a few pockets of India. Mahe, okay, Pondicherry, Mahe, Yanam, Karaikal, that too till India's independence. So this is the first chapter, okay. I presume we will discuss this, briefly. Certain areas in this I'll discuss. I'll not be able to discuss everything, as you know. Focusing mostly on the English East India Company, number 1. Number 2 is the Farmans issued by the Mughal emperors. Farmans ante royal declarations, royal, proclamations issued by the Mughal emperors, giving certain concessions to the British company, okay, and how that led to the misuse of Farman by the British, leading to the conquest of Bengal. Plassey Buxar, it's presumed, you all know Plassey Buxar, okay. I would presume that you know Plassey Buxar, circumstances leading to the Battle of Plassey, then Buxar, and then dual system of government. I will discuss Allahabad Treaty and the Banaras Treaty. Treaty of Allahabad and the Treaty of Banaras, that one in this aspect. Okay. Then we have second topic. What would be the second topic? We have the British conquest of India. The British conquest of India. The British conquest of India. So here in this chapter, what all you do, you study? You study about the later Mughals, Imandi. Later Mughals you study. Right? You study about the later Mughals. You study about the British conquest of Bengal. That is Plassey. You study about Plassey, Buxar. Okay. Then dual government, dual system of government. And then, of course, we have two treaties which you need to understand, Allahabad and Banaras. Treaty of Allahabad and Banaras. Okay. Then, so conquest of Bengal, then Mysore, Mysore, four Anglo-Mysore wars. Four Anglo-Mysore wars. Then we also have, after Mysore, we have Marathas. The conquest of Maharashtra, the defeat of the Peshwa and the other Maratha Sardars in three Anglo-Maratha wars. Okay, so Mysore undi, four Anglo-Mysore wars, then Marathas, then what else? We have the conquest of Punjab by the British, conquest of Punjab in two Anglo-Sikh wars after the death of Ranjit Singh. So that by 1849, the British were the masters of this country. And of course, we have the conquest of Sindh. 1843, Sindh was conquered. So this is the second chapter. Later Mughals, then we have the conquest of Bengal, Plassey, Buxar, dual system of government, Allahabad Treaty, Banaras Treaty. I'll not be able to do everything, definitely, given the time. Then Mysore, then Marathas, Punjab, Sindh. Okay. Then third, how do I go for another page here? This one, plus. The third chapter would be economic impact of British rule. Economic impact. Economic impact of British rule. So in this chapter, what all you do? What do you study? You study the three revenue systems introduced by the British. Land revenue systems. Land revenue systems, permanent settlement or zamindari settlement, then Rayatwari and Mahalwari settlements. Then of course you have, so permanent settlement, Mahalwari settlement, Rayatwari settlement. Then what is deindustrialization? What is deindustrialization? That is there. Then drain of wealth. Drain of wealth is another topic. Okay, etc. How it adversely impacted our economy. Okay, so economic impact of British rule. Then we have the fourth chapter is socio-religious reform movements. Socio-religious reform movements. What is called 19th century Renaissance. 19th century Renaissance. What are the reasons for these reform movements in the 19th century? Starting with Brahma Samaj, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. What happened to the Brahma Samaj after Roy? Okay, Debendranath Tagore, K.C. Sen. Then Arya Samaj and Dayananda Saraswati. Then of course we have Theosophical Society, Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Swami Vivekananda. Then reformers like Ishwachandra Vidyasagar, Jyotiba Phule, etc. And many acts brought about by the British. It could be the Age of Consent Act, and other acts brought out by the British. Abolition of Sati, okay, then Widow Remarriages Act, okay, all those things. So this is your, and of course reform movements among the Parsis, among the Muslims, and among the Sikhs. This is a very important topic, favorite topic, important topic in your prelims as well as mains, but in the UPSC exam. Then, of course, we have the fifth chapter is 1857 revolt. 1857 revolt is there. Revolt of 1857. Sepoy mutiny. This is another topic. And then what are the changes brought about by the British after the mutiny? Under the Parliament. The British Crown took over the administration of India. The AC is not working. Is it working? Okay, so here we have the 1857 revolt, what are the various causes, etc. And then changes brought about by the British in the administration after 1857. Then sixth and the last chapter is national movement. National movement. In that you have pre-Congress associations or organizations, okay, then moderates, extremists, and Gandhian era, and then of course important movements. What I have got, for example, Swadeshi movement, we have some popular agitations as we are called, Swadeshi movement on the Home Rule movement is there, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement. These are the 5 movements which are very important. Then, of course, other aspects related to national movement. This is your modern Indian history. Now, this one? Sorry? No, I want to go back. This one, no? Okay, right. Now, I'll come to the questions, just hold on. Right, so here we have 3 main routes, isn't it, between Europe and India. The Persian Gulf route, the Red Sea route, and the overland route between Europe and India. The overland route is the route taken by Alexander, like the way he came all the way from Macedonia and Greece all the way to India via Persia. He comes to India. That is the overland route. Then we have this is the Red Sea route, and then this is the Persian Gulf route. So there were 3 routes between India and the West in ancient and medieval times, but something happened in 1453, you all know this, conquest of Constantinople. And that resulted in the 3 routes being blocked by the Ottoman Turkish Sultan, triggering of the so-called geographical discoveries. Spain and Portugal took the initiative, and it was Portugal who first managed to. Do we have a? Okay, I have to go like this. Okay, so here Vasco da Gama on 14th of May landed at Calicut. Before that, in trying to found an all-sea route to India, Christopher Columbus accidentally discovered America. You study that as part of world history. So here you see. Do you have a remote here? Can anybody just, is there any bell here? No. Is there? Can't open the entire screen. Plain, huh? That's what. Okay. Oh, where is the stuff? They've disappeared. No, ask him to come. Where is he? I sent him. I sent somebody and I can't continue without him. Just call him. It's okay. If there's no remote, it's okay. It becomes easy, Remote becomes easy. So do you have a remote? Remote? Huh? Okay, okay, fine, fine. Remote होता तो अच्छा है, सब इस remote के साथ ही आता है ना? Right. So I'll share these PPTs with you. I'm presuming I'm teaching you as if you don't know anything, right? But I'm going to jump here now. You know, I presume you know all these things. So here we have Vasco da Gama coming to India, okay, discovering the so-called Cape route. This is the route he takes, and he comes to Calicut, 1498, May 17th. Now, Portuguese, there are some questions on Portuguese, isn't it, in your paper? I don't have the paper with me. Huh? Sorry? We'll get it after the class. So then I will do whatever I have, I'm supposed to do here. So here I have a plan, you know, in these 20 hours I have made a plan and come. What are the areas I would like to touch? Today I would like to touch these areas. One is among the European companies. I will talk about briefly about the Portuguese and the governors. And then, of course, we have the Dutch East India Company, then English East India Company, with particular reference to English East India Company, and then the Farmans issued by the Mughal emperors, and how it affected the trade of the British, and how it led to the misuse of the Farmans, and finally the conquest of Bengal, and then those two treaties, Allahabad and Banaras Treaty, then Wellesley and Ripon, and then maybe the Carnatic War. If you think it is important, I'll skip that. If you already know it, then it's fine. Otherwise, I would like to talk about the Marathas, the Anglo-Maratha Wars, 3 Anglo-Maratha Wars. This is what I have planned. Tomorrow onwards, I would want to do the national movement, entire national movement, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. In that, we have important popular agitations, like the Swadeshi movement, the regional dimensions to the Swadeshi movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, revolutionary terrorism, Indian National Army, Cripps mission, all those things, whatever, important topics it was sent to me, I would like to throw special emphasis on those topics, after giving you a broad overview of the national movement. Then I have decided to do more movements like peasant movements, important peasant movements, whatever has been shortlisted by the team, like the Telangana movement or the Tebaka movement, Indigo revolt, then Ulgulan, the Munda revolt, the Santal rebellion, important revolts, peasant, tribal, trade union, leftist movements, sustics. In these 5 days, that's what I have planned to do, given the limitation of time. So here, these are the Europeans who came to, and of course the questions we will discuss. Now you see, these are the Europeans who came in this order: Portuguese, followed by the Dutch, the English, the Danes, and the French. Now, the Portuguese established a company, as you all know, Estado da India. Okay. And Cochin, they established their first factory at Cochin. Though he landed at Calicut, they established their first factory at Cochin, and these are the various places where they established factories on the Malabar coast. Okay, Cochin becomes their early capital, followed by Goa. Later, they shifted the capital to Goa. Then they began to appoint governors. The first governor, so this is the picture of a factory or a trading station. And then other places we have factories established by the Portuguese, Konkan Coast, Goa, Maharashtra, Bombay, Salsette, Bassein. Bassein is now called Vasai in Mumbai. Right, and then of course Gujarat, Coromandel Coast, Bengal, and their ports they named Satgaon, also known as Port Pekino, like that. They built their ports. Karnataka, it was Bhatkal, Mangalore. Then Cochin was early capital, followed by Goa. Okay. Then we have important Portuguese governors. The first was Francisco da Almeida, who followed a blue water policy. What is blue water policy? Sorry? The Carthages system, and totally focusing on trade. And what is Carthages? Anybody here? Sorry? It was a letter of protection given by the Portuguese. They had to pay money. Other traders trading in the oceans around India, Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, had to pay money to the Portuguese governor or customs house officer, and they used to procure a letter that is called Cartese. With that letter, they could trade. Now somebody who was not, who had not procured that letter and he was trading in the oceans around India, those ships will be attacked, they will be looted by the Portuguese and sunk in the oceans. So it was something like an armed robbery on the part of the Portuguese. That was one way of earning money for the Portuguese also, but they used the Carthages system for that. And he was the one who introduced the Carthages system, Francisco da Almeida, right? Then of course we have two battles which were fought. Battle of Chaul, where we have Dom Lawrence, the son of Almeida. He was killed. He was killed in this battle, and then we have the Battle of Diu, also known as the Second Battle of Chaul, in which Almeida defeated an alliance of rulers of Gujarat, Egypt, and Calicut. Okay, supported by the Republic of Venice and Ottoman Empire. Then the second and the greatest of the Portuguese governors was Albuquerque, Alfonso da Albuquerque. Okay, he encouraged his countrymen to marry Indian women. Why? He encouraged the Portuguese to marry Indian women here in this country. Reason? Sorry? Increase the local support, increase the population of the Portuguese in India, that is true. And of course, he followed a policy of forcible conversions. Now, he sent an embassy to Sri Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya was the greatest of the Vijayanagar kings. He sent an embassy. He wanted to enter into a friendship treaty with Krishnadevaraya. But Krishnadevaraya was not very sure about the intentions of the Portuguese. Therefore, he politely spoke to the Portuguese ambassador and sent him back. But in 1510, we have the Portuguese conquering Goa from the Bijapur Sultan. Okay, what was the reason why they conquered Goa from the Bijapur Sultan? Because the reason being that the Portuguese king had ordered Albuquerque to conquer Aden, Malacca, as well as Ormuz. Ormuz is in the Persian Gulf. This is Ormuz. Okay, this area is called Ormuz. So the Portuguese king had ordered Albuquerque to conquer this area, Ormuz, Aden, and Malacca. And Alfonso de Albuquerque felt that in order to have a separate sea route to the east, dominate the eastern routes, it was necessary to have a permanent base in Goa. So that is the reason why he conquered Goa from the Bijapur Sultan in 1510. And then he sent an ambassador. In 1511, he sends an ambassador to Krishnadevaraya. The name of the ambassador was Friar Louis. Friar Louis came to the court of Krishnadevaraya and a treaty was signed. Okay, according to this treaty, you study that as part of medieval India, Portuguese should sell war horses, Arabian war horses, only to Krishnadevaraya, only to Vijayanagara. Okay, and not to the Bijapur Sultan. And Vijayanagar king promised the Portuguese that they will be paid handsomely for that. And a separate port was set aside by the Vijayanagar king for where the Portuguese would import horses into. That is Bhatkal. Bhatkal is in Karnataka, very near to Mangalore. So Bhatkal was the port which was reserved by Krishnadevaraya, and all the war horses were imported from there and taken to Hampe, the capital of Vijayanagara. So this is one thing. Then, of course, he died in 1515. Then we have Ninoda Kunha, who shifted the capital to Goa, from Cochin to Goa. You know that, right? And then we have Martin Alfonso de Souza. See, certain questions were shared. Okay, I think this was still so these are the topics the team had shared it with me. So these are the questions, okay, and these are the topics which were sent to me by the team, okay, and I also suggested one or few topics. On that basis, I am focusing on those topics. Okay, you understand, na? And I have added some more topics, thinking that I should explain these things across the entire syllabus. Right. So it's not that I'm doing it randomly. Certain topics were already shortlisted and given to me by the team. Okay. Hello. Yeah. So here, Martin Alfonso de Souza. During his time, we have a saint coming to India. His name was Francis Xavier. If I might ask you the question, who was the first Christian to come to India and during whose period? Christian to come to India. Who was that? You're right. And that is the hint. He gave you a hint. Come on. St. Thomas. During the time of Gondophanes. The Parthian king. So he was the first Christian pilgrim father to come to India. You see, on the coast of Bengal, on the Chennai coast, on the Bay of Bengal, there was a storm. And during ancient times, during the time of the Parthians, you have a king called Gondophanes ruling. St. Thomas was one of the 12 apostles of Lord Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus Christ is supposed to have had 12 disciples. One of them was St. Thomas, and he was going in Bay of Bengal to spread Christianity. There was a storm. There was a severe storm. His ship was wrecked, and he somehow managed to reach the shores of Chennai. Okay, and that is at a place called Mylapore. So he somehow swam and he was lying on the shore, unconscious. He regained his consciousness. Local people saw him. They caught hold of him and killed him and buried him there. Reason that he might, looking for him, foreigners might come, and they may be a threat to that particular area. So he was buried there. In the 13th century, Marco Polo, a Venetian traveler, he visited the Kakatiya kingdom also, Rani Rudrama Devi's kingdom. Marco Polo makes a mention of St. Thomas. He had visited the grave of St. Thomas. So please understand, Martin, what's his name? Francisco Xavier arrived in India along with Martin Alfonso de Souza. Now, why did he arrive? He arrived to renew Christianity in this area. I have put a note here. This is the Bomb Jesus Basilica in Goa, which contains the mummy of Francis Xavier. This is the mummy. Okay. What was his desire? What was the reason why he landed in Goa? To renew Christianity, to strengthen and renew Christianity. And he converted a number of people, almost 7 lakh people belonging to the fisher community were converted to Christianity by Francis Xavier. Before going away, so he went away to China. In fact, he was the first missionary to go to Japan. The first Christian mission to Japan was under this person, Francis Xavier. He also went to China. Before going away to China, Francis Xavier, he was there in Goa and South India for 3 years, where he spread Christianity. Now, before going away to China, he expressed his desire that he would like to be buried in Goa. That was his last desire. Once I die, I would like to be buried in Goa. So having said that, he went away to China. Unfortunately, he never reached mainland China. Okay, he died on one of the islands of China, and he was buried there. Then later his disciples came to know that he had died in China, so they went there and they exhumed his body. They removed his body, dead body, which had been buried in one of the islands of China. I have given the details here. Okay, this is the island. Shanjuan, however you want to spell it. So they exhumed his body, took it to Malacca. That is one of the islands in Indonesia. He was buried in Malacca, again removed, again exhumed, brought to Goa and kept in the St. Paul's College. This is the first building built by the Portuguese in Goa, St. Paul's College. And then in 1624 onwards, it is placed in the Basilica, in the Bomb Jesus Basilica. It remains there. So every year, December 3rd is celebrated as Saint Xavier's Festival. He is considered to be the patron saint of Goa and locally called this one, Gyoncho Sahib, the Lord of Goa. Okay. Right, this was from Indian Express. I picked it up from Indian Express. So whatever this information is there was from Indian Express. So this is about Francis Xavier, who came to India during the time of Martin Alfonso de Souza. Then, of course, we have, so they made pepper trade a royal monopoly. Nobody could sell pepper, buy and sell pepper except the Portuguese. And also selling the custom house officers, the post of customs and house officers was the royal monopoly of the Portuguese king. So that's how they made money. And then they introduced all these things into India: tobacco, potato, tomato, chilies, lychee, sapota. All these were introduced into India by the Portuguese. Rubber in India was introduced by the Dutch. Hello? I made a point here. You see, rubber was introduced in India by the Dutch. Cocoa was introduced into India by the English. Rest were introduced by the Portuguese, including printing press. They used to print Bible, Holy Bible, so to spread Christianity. So printing press was also introduced into India by them. right? Then what are the reasons for the decline of the Portuguese power? All these things are there. You know, but I have given it here. Go through it. I'll skip. Is it fine now? Right? Given the time limit. Then we have the Dutch East India Company. Dutch East India Company, they were the second to come to India, established in the year 1602. Virange Oost Indische Company, VOC. Okay, the first person to visit India was this man, Van Huygen Linschoten. He wrote a travelogue called Itinerario, which resulted in the Dutch endeavor towards the east. The Dutch East India Company was established in 1602. Now, the Dutch came to India for what purpose? They came thinking that there is a lot of spices in India, right? But then they realized that Indonesia has more spices than India. So later they went and conquered Indonesia. But having come to India, what did they do? They focused on the east coast of India, that is present-day Andhra Pradesh coast, east coast of Andhra Pradesh. They had their representation in the Sultan of Golconda. Sorry. Where do I go for a page? Where do I go for a page? This one. Whiteboard. So here, the Dutch were the ones who started this triangular conflict with, they were the ones who began the triangular trade with Indonesia and Europe. Here is the size of this font here. So they were the ones who began this. Yeah. So they were the ones who began this triangular trade between India, Indonesia and Europe, which was copied by the British later. So here this is India, east coast of India, right? Then Indonesia, and then Europe. This is Europe. Now what did they do? They bought cotton textiles cheaply from the east coast of Andhra Pradesh. Then they shipped it across the Bay of Bengal into Indonesia. Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean into Indonesia. So cotton textiles were shipped to Indonesia. Indonesia had more spices than India, they knew it. So they exchanged spices for cotton textiles. Okay, they exchanged spices for cotton textiles, took the spices directly to Europe. Okay, they took that spices directly to Europe. And from Europe, they brought miscellaneous goods to India. This is the triangular trade which was begun by the Dutch between India, Indonesia and Europe. The British copied this in America, wherein, I'll use another page, you see, they came to occupy the 13 colonies. You have studied world history. So they occupied 13 colonies, the British. So you have the 13 colonies here. Okay, 13 colonies on the eastern coast of North America. These are the West Indies. Those days, a part of West Indies was under England, a part of West Indies was under France, and the part of West Indies was under Spain. That's why it is called as English West Indies, French West Indies, and Spanish West Indies. And then, of course, you have here Africa. So what the American rum distillers, rum is a byproduct of sugarcane. Yeah, rum is a byproduct of sugarcane. And again, from sugarcane you get molasses. From molasses you extract rum. So what they used to do is, they had very less population in the 13 colonies during those days. They required laborers to work on the plantations. So what they would do is, they will take rum to Africa. This is number one. They will take rum to Africa. In exchange for rum, they will bring slaves, black African slaves, Negro slaves were brought to the 13 colonies, shipped to the West Indies, that is the British West Indies, where you have a number of plantations, sugarcane plantations. So the slaves were shipped to the British West Indies, where they were exchanged for molasses. Okay, molasses would be, from molasses they will extract rum, and then they'll bring the rum back to the 13 colonies. This was learned by the British from the Dutch, who used to engage in triangular trade between India, Indonesia and Europe. Clear? Right. Now where I go? Where do I go? Slip. Go back. Home. Back. Right. So Dutch East India Company. So बाकी सब आपको पता है. See, all other things you know. Um, right. Initial headquarters was Pulicat, and they had the representation in the court of the Sultan of Golconda. They had the representation in the court of the Sultan of Golconda. Right. Then later they shifted the capital to Nagapattinam. Then we have, so I have put this triangular diagram. I have just to explain that. In the Battle of Bedera, you have the English defeating the Dutch. Earlier we have something called the Battle of Amboina. When the English tried to penetrate into Indonesia at a place called Amboina. I can't write on this. I can write. This one? Yeah. So, at a place called Amboina in Indonesia, the Dutch massacred the British when the British tried to penetrate the Indonesian market. Now, the British took revenge against the Dutch when they defeated the Dutch and massacred the Dutch in the Battle of Bedera. And they ousted them, expelled them from India in 1795. 1759 Bedera, 1795 Ulta, they were expelled. Right, and then they built a few forts. I have given the details here. Then we have the English East India Company. So you all know these details. I don't want to go through in a detailed manner. Father Thomas Stevens, first to come to India. He was a refugee Englishman, Jesuit to come to India. Ralph Fitch came during the time of Emperor Akbar. Ralph Fitch, by the overland route he came. Then John Milton Hall also came by the overland route. Then you have a company established by a group of merchants called Merchant Adventures, that is the governor and company of merchants of London trading into the East Indies. And it was given a monopoly of trade for how many years? 15 years by Queen Elizabeth. 15 years, no other British company could trade with the East Indies. East Indies ante South, Southeast Asia, East Asia. But even before the expiration of these 15 years, we have another English king, James I, who gave them monopoly for an indefinite period. They sent an ambassador to the court of Jahangir. They wanted to establish a factory at Surat. But then what happened? Jahangir refused permission to the British. Why? Portuguese. There was a very powerful Portuguese lobby. But then in two naval battles, the British defeated the Portuguese. One at Bombay and the other at Swally. Then you have Jahangir by two farmans issuing. In two farmans, he issued permission to the British. In 1613, English were permitted to start a factory at Surat. In 1615, Thomas Roe came to the court of Jahangir. And as a result, Jahangir permitted them to start factories at three places: Agra, Ahmedabad, and Bhuj. Okay, so main imports, the cotton, that is such as muslin and calico, silk, indigo, saltpetre, the sugar. What is saltpetre? Saltpetre, tea and opium. These are the products the English were interested in. Portuguese were interested in spices, particularly pepper. Dutch in cotton textiles, whereas the English were interested in a larger basket. Okay, saltpetre was also used in place of gunpowder. Saltpetre, a mineral, was used also in case your gunpowder gets over, they can use saltpetre in place of gunpowder. So it was very lucrative. And of course, opium was grown in the Bengal province, Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, and they began to penetrate into the Chinese market by clandestinely dumping opium into China, triggering out the opium wars, which you study as part of world history. So here, details are here. Bombay was acquired from the Portuguese, right? And Portuguese had given away. Bombay has a dowry when Charles II married Catherine Braganza, the Portuguese princess, and he gave it away for just $10 per annum. and the Portuguese and the English company procured Bombay from Charles II. So details are here, important factories. Then Francis Day, ikkada chudandi, Francis Day acquired the site of Madras from D.V. Naidu. See, let me throw light on this. Just hold on. So wherever, I'll just pause here and let me try to clarify this part. Francis Day acquired the site of Chennai from a person called D.V. Naidu, who was in the court of the Raja of Chandragiri. Okay, Raja Venkatipati Rayalu III. So if you understand Vijayanagar history, Vijayanagara was existing from 1336 to 1648. Isn't it? Harihara and Bukka were the founders, and there were 4 dynasties: Sangama, Saluva, Tuluva, Aravidu. Greatest of the Vijayanagar kings was Krishnadeva. He belonged to which dynasty? Tuluva dynasty. Though Vijayanagara lasted till 1648, when was the peak of Vijayanagara till 1565? Battle of Talikota. Battle of Talikota happened in 1565. So what happened? Vijayanagara was defeated. Okay, and the king, who was the king during the Battle of Talikota? Sadashivaraya. Sadashivaraya ran away to Penukonda. Anantapur district of Andhra. Okay. Hampe was the capital of Vijayanagara. So from Hampe, Sadashivaraya, along with 2 brothers of Ramaraya. Ramaraya has been blamed for the Talikota battle, isn't it? Hello. Ancient medieval India has been done for you, right? So Ramaraya had 2 brothers. Ramaraya had 2 brothers, Tirumala and Venkata. Tirumala and Venkata. So Ramaraya was beheaded in the battle. These 2 brothers, along with Sadashivaraya, their king, ran away to Penukonda. From till 1570, Sadashivaraya ruled. Sadashivaraya ruled till 1570. Once Sadashivaraya died, this Tirumala usurped the throne. He snatched the throne and established the 4th dynasty, Aravidu dynasty. Aravidu dynasty ruled initially from Penukonda, later Chandragiri. Chandragiri is near Tirupati. Okay, and Vellore has its capitals. Vellore in Tamil Nadu. Ambur, Vellore. Okay. Huh? Sorry? Yeah, okay, fine. So here, when this Vijayanagar king was ruling from Chandragiri, you could Raja Venkatapati III. He was ruling from Chandragiri. Under him there was an officer called D.V. Naidu, under whom Chennai was there. The British procured Chennai from D.V. Naidu, and they named that city. Earlier it was called Chennapattanam, after the father of D.V. Naidu. D.V. Naidu's father's name was Chennappa. I'm not right here. Chennappa. D.V. Naidu's father's name was Chennappa, so they named it as Chennapattanam. Later it became Chennai. And after the defeat of course, Tipu, we have the Madras presidency established by Cornwallis, right? So here, Madras presidency, sorry, Wellesley. Wellesley was the one who established the Madras presidency. Then we have 3 villages procured by the British: Kalikata, Satanoti, Govindapur. And Satanoti, this was procured from Azimuddin, the Mughal governor, for an annual rental of 1200 rupees. And there they built a fort. So Satanoti was fortified by Job Charnock, and they named it as Fort William, after King William III of England. I presume you all know all these details, okay? So Mughal Farman. Jahangir issued 2 Farmans, one in 1613, where the British established a factory at Surat. 1615, during Thomas Roe's period, they were given the permission to establish factories at 3 places, right? There is Agra, Ahmedabad, Bhuj. Then we come to Shah Jahan. First English factory in Bengal was established at Hooghly in the year 1651 by permission from Shah Shuja, son of Shah Jahan. Son of Shah Jahan gave a nishan, and they had to pay how much? 3,000 rupees per annum. So they established their first factory at Hooghly in Bengal in 1651. Then we have another farman issued by Aurangzeb, 1691. Chudandi details ikkada undi. So English sacked Hooghly. So when they sacked Hooghly, Mughals plundered Bengal. Then on a joint child, they began to trouble the Hajj pilgrims. So Aurangzeb ordered all the English settlements all over the Mughal Empire be conquered. Then they came around, they asked for pardon, emperor pardoned them. Then he issued another farman, 1691. He exempted them from payment of custom duties in Bengal, thus reconfirming the concessions given by Shah Shuja's Nishan. Hello, yeah? Then we have Farrukh Siyar. Two people went and met him. Farrukh Siyar was suffering from some problem, health issue. Dr. Hamilton cured him. As a result, Farrukh Siyar issued the Golden Farman, wherein he confirmed the privileges given by the 1691 Farman with respect to Bengal and extended them to Gujarat and Deccan. So they could now trade free of taxes in Bengal, Gujarat and Deccan for an annual payment of 10,000 rupees. Farrukh Siyar's Farman also gave the privilege to the company to issue dastaks for its members for private trade. Did you understand that part? Can you explain, please? Dastak ante emi? Can anybody explain this part? How did it later contribute towards the British conquest of Bengal? Golden Farman opened the floodgates for the British to conquer Bengal and then eventually India. That's why it's called the Magna Carta of British rule in India. Hello? Now look here. This is Bengal, okay? Now, can you see this line? Thick enough? Okay. So let us say this is Bengal. So the company has been given, East India Company was a trading body. The company has been given a privilege of trading free of taxes within the province of Bengal. Okay. Then, according to the Golden Farman of Farrukh Siyar, of 1717 Farman, company employees could also trade by procuring dastaks from the company office. Imagine we are all company employees, East India Company employees. We work in the morning from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the evening. And then after that time we are free. We are all youngsters. Those days all youngsters used to come and work in the company. They could engage in private trade. They wanted to make money when they are in India. So after the office hours, what they will do is, they will go to the company office and procure a dastak. Dastak is a free pass. Okay. Now, from point A to point B, inside Bengal, let us say I'm an official, my name is John, and I want to transport goods from point A to point B. Okay, and on the way there is a customs house, there is a custom officer, custom house, toll gate. I procured a dastak. What is a dastak? A pass, free pass from my office, from my company office. So when my bullock carts carrying, let us say, 10 huge loads of raw cotton come to this toll gate, my people will show the pass, dastak. So the Nawab of Bengal's officials will not collect taxes from me because I have shown a pass. So my goods will easily go from point A to point B without having to pay any taxes. This is the privilege given by the Farman of Farrukh Siyar to the company employees. Now, Bengali merchants had to pay taxes here. Bengali merchants, let us say, they have to carry goods from point A to point B, they have to pay taxes here. Imagine you're all Bengali merchants. I'm John, who has a pass with me, dastak with me. Now what I'll do is, you have to pay taxes. You also want to earn more profit. So you will come to me, or I will tell you, you give me this much amount of money. Okay, I'll give you my dastak to you. So you will give me, let us say, all of you, from various employees, you will give money to them and you will procure your own dastak. When your bullock carts come to this point, your people will show dastak. It's a loss for whom? For the Bengal Nawab. So the Bengal Nawab said, you fellows, dirty fellows, you don't misuse the dastaks. It's a loss for me. The British did not care. That's a time when, the Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla decided to crack down, triggering of the Battle of Plassey. Hello, yeah. This is misuse of the Farman of 1717. Samajh mein aa gaya? Are you clear? This is what I wanted you to know. So Farman was issued by whom? Farooq Shah's Farman also granted the company the right to issue dastaks, passes for movement of goods in Bengal. Dastak was procured by the company employees from their offices. Okay? Whereas the Bengali merchants had to pay taxes within the province of Bengal. When they began to sell the dastaks to the Indian merchants, it was a loss for the Bengal Nawab. When he objected, that led to friction between the British officials and the Bengal Nawab, leading to the Battle of Plassey, later Boxer, etc. This is what I wanted to discuss. Then all these things are there. Danish East India Company, Tranquebar, they established their first factory there. That is Tarangamabadi in Tamil Nadu, modern name of Tranquebar. Srirampur was their headquarters. Srirampur, they called it as Frederick's Nagar, etc. Details are here. Important, what you call Danish settlements. The people of Denmark, they sold away all their assets to the British and left the shores of India. Then we have the French East India Company. I'll not discuss this because of depth of time. Okay. Though this will be shared with you. Whatever I have made, I have shared with you. They also established their first factory at Surat. It was established in 1664 by Colbert, you all know that. And Pondicherry was procured by Francois Martin and Belanger de l'Espinary. So Francois Martin is called the founder of Pondicherry. He founded Pondicherry in 1673. Okay. Right. Okay. This is about the first topic. Wait. So let us look at the previous year question papers. In the first quarter of the 17th century, in which of the following was or were the factories of the English East India Company located? Brooch. This is there in the question paper? This question is there? You don't have it. Okay. So Brooch is the answer because Ahmedabad, Surat, Brooch, not Trichinopoly, not Srikakulam. Srikakulam ante Srikakulam. So the answer is here, you see. Surat, Brooch, Ahmedabad, they are all in Gujarat. Then Agra, Masuripatnam. First quarter of the 17th century would be 1600 to 1625. In those 25 years, they had about 5 factories. Kalingapatnam or Srikakulam was a small trading post. It was not a major trading center there. Then, with reference to the Indian history, consider the following statement. The Dutch established their factories or warehouses on the east coast on lands granted to them by the Gajapati rulers. No, by the Sultan of Golconda. Golconda Sultan, not by the Gajapati rulers. I've given it, isn't it? They had a representation in the court of the Sultan of Golconda. Alfonso Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultan is correct. Right, and then English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land. On a plot of land leased from the representative of Vijay. That is also correct. 2 and 3 are correct. The details answer is here. Then St. Francis Xavier was one of the founding members of the Jesuit order, that is correct, along with Ignatius Loyola and 6 others. He established the Society of Jesus in 1540. So that is correct. Francis Xavier died in Goa and a church is dedicated to him there. No, he died in China, one of the islands of China. Feast of St. Francis is celebrated in Goa every year. That is correct. December 3rd. So details are here. Then assessment of land revenue on the basis of nature of the soil and the quality of crops, use of mobile cannons in warfare, cultivation of tobacco and red chilies. Which of the above were introduced in India by the English? None of them. This was already there. So assessment of land coverage on the basis of nature of soil and the quality of crops. That was already there. Even during the Mughal period it was there. Use of mobile cannons in warfare. Even medieval times we also have this. Turks introduced the stirrup, the concave saddle, iron shoe. All these were introduced by the Turks. Tobacco, red chilies, they're all introduced by the Portuguese, not by the English. New World, which of the following are plants domesticated in the New World? Tobacco, cocoa, rubber. Okay, that is New World. New World ante Americas. That was the name given by Amerigo Vespucci to the Americas. So Columbus conquered America in 1492. Amerigo Vespucci called it as the New World. Waltz Muller called it as the Americas after Amerigo Vespucci. Who among the following rulers of medieval Gujarat surrendered due to the Portuguese? It was Bahadur Shah. So when Humayun attacked Gujarat, Humayun, son of Babur, when he attacked Gujarat, he entered into a treaty with the Portuguese, who Bahadur Shah, and he gave away due to the Portuguese. There they built a fort. That's how they got entrenched themselves in Gujarat. Who? The Portuguese. So the answer is Portuguese. The answer is here. Explanation is here. Okay. Then consider the following statements with reference to Portuguese colonial empire. Among the Portuguese possessions in India was island of Nicobar until it was given as Catherine Brigant's dowry to Charles II. It was Bombay, not Nicobar. Alfonso Albuquerque realized that a permanent base in Goa, then under the Vijayanagar Empire, would be very helpful to the Portuguese ambition of controlling maritime trade routes of the east. Correct, that is correct. No. Permanent Goa, then under the Bijapur Sultan. Then not under the Vijayanagar Empire, then under the Bijapur Sultan. Portuguese were the last European colonial power to leave India, that is correct. Okay, they were the first to come and the last to leave. Right. Timoji or Timmaya, this is from current affairs. Hello, this is from current affairs. Timoji or Timmaya is supposed to have been a person who is supposed to have helped Albuquerque in conquering Goa. So from newspaper this is, okay, so the answer is here, details are here. Okay, right. Just hold on, where is this? Where is my picture? Wait. Let's switch off this. Wait. What do I do? Which one? This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, I am. So here, these are the important governors of who ruled Bengal. Okay, Murshid Quli Khan, Sujauddin, Sarfaraz Khan, Alivardi Khan, then Sirajuddaulah, Mir Jafar, Mir Qasim, Mir Jafar, Najmuddaulah. So you know what happened from the time of Sirajuddaulah. I presume you know. I have added it like that only. Sirajuddaulah. I have made a black background. This is okay? This background is okay? Okay. So Sirajuddaulah, when the English, without his permission, began to fortify Calcutta in anticipation of another round of Anglo-French conflict, he objected and then he conquered Calcutta. When was Calcutta conquered? 1756, June the 4th. and he left Calcutta in charge of an officer called Manik Chand, isn't it? And he came back to his capital. What was the capital of Siraj-ud-Dawla? Bengal Nawab. He conquered Calcutta. Calcutta was not his capital. His capital was Murshidabad. Okay, his capital was Murshidabad. Okay, then what happened? We have the black hole episode in his absence. What is this black hole episode? When did it happen? Exactly on June the 4th, 1756, according to Holwell. See, according to British historian Holwell, out of 146 prisoners who were shut in a dungeon, okay, next day when it was opened, how many survived? Only 23 had survived. 123 had died. This is called the black hole episode of Calcutta, the black hole episode of Calcutta. Siraj-ud-Dawla has no more been blamed for this because it happened in his absence. Right, you know all these things. Then we have Clive recovering Calcutta. Hemande, Clive recovered Calcutta. Then Nawab was forced to sign the Treaty of Ali Nagar. He renamed Calcutta as Ali Nagar. Why? The Treaty of Ali Nagar. Why did Siraj-ud-Dawla rename Calcutta as Ali Nagar? Ali Nagar ante, he was the favorite of his predecessor Alivardi Khan. He was Alivardi Khan's daughter's son, favorite daughter, youngest daughter's son, and he was his favorite. So he named Calcutta after Alivardi Khan as Ali Nagar. So the Treaty of Ali Nagar was signed after the British. Clive and Watson reconquered Calcutta. Yemandi, okay. What are the terms of the Treaty of Ali Nagar, which was very important? My enemies are your enemies. Therefore, you should not help each other's enemies. My enemies are your enemies. That is, the French are the British's enemies. Siraj should not have support the French. And whoever are the enemies of Siraj will not be supported by the British. But then what happened? Siraj-ud-Dawla violated the Treaty of Ali Nagar. When the French conquered, when the English conquered Chandarnagore, when the English conquered Chandarnagore, he decided to support the French, violating the Treaty of Ali Nagar. That resulted in a conspiracy. Robert Clive formed a conspiracy. These are the various conspirators. You know that. Then happened the Battle of Plassey. The name Plassey comes from where? The palace trees. Like coconut trees, mango trees, that battlefield was full of palace trees. Therefore, the British called us Plassey, June 23rd, 1757. And the British won. Who was made the next Nawab? Mir Jafar. Battle of Plassey. So this was a foregone conclusion. Even before the battle began, it was the results had been decided because they turned traitors. The British, Mir Jafar and his men turned traitors. They were hand in glove with the British, and of course the British won. Mir Madan Mohanlal only fought bravely. Mir Jafar, Yar Lutuf Khan, Rai Durlab, they were mute spectators. Miran, the son of Mir Jafar, beheaded Siraj-ud-Dawla. Mir Jafar became the Nawab. Then he tried to assert his independence. The British kept on extracting the concessions from him, and he was fed up. He tried to join hands with the Dutch. That resulted in the Battle of Bedera ante Chinsura. Battle of Chinsura or Bedera. In that Battle of Bedera, the Dutch were defeated by the British. Mir Jafar had tried to join hands with the Dutch and oust the British from Bengal. Therefore, he was pulled down from the throne, and his son-in-law, Mir Qasim, was made the Nawab. He was an independent-minded ruler. What did he do? The British continued to misuse the dastaks. They were selling dastaks to Indian traders. Now, what did he do? It was a loss for the Nawab. He warned them many times. They did not care. He introduced free trade in Bengal. He introduced free trade. British were trading without any taxes within the province of Bengal. He told Indian traders, you also don't pay taxes. It was a loss for whom? For the British. That resulted in the Battle of Buxar. In the Battle of Buxar, you have... Oh, I'm sorry, I should have put on silent mode. I'm very sorry for this. Sorry. So here, you see, So Battle of Buxar. In this Battle of Buxar, we have Hector Munro defeating all the three. And once Mir Qasim was removed, Mir Jafar was again placed on the throne. So Mir Jafar was placed on the throne. Results of the Battle of Buxar, I'll come to that. Then of course Mir Jafar. Then once Mir Jafar died, his son Najamuddaulah was placed on the throne. Yeah? Clear? Now look here. We have the governors of Fort William. So here 1765 to 1756 to 72. Drake, Clive, Vansittart, Clive, World, Scotia, Warren Hastings. Now we have the Nizamat, which was given away to the British. That is, the British could appoint a deputy Subedar who will run the administration of Bengal. All the administration will be in his hands. Nizamat, police and police duties. And that happened during the time of Vansittart. You see here, wait. So this is the battle. So can you see the yellow color? I had, hello? Just hold on. Why is it coming like this? Is it okay? See, on February 20th, 1765, we have a treaty with Najamuddaulah by which the British, by which you have the administration in the hands of a deputy Subedar. Okay, so you have all the administration in the hands of a deputy Subedar, and the Nawab could not remove the deputy Subedar without the permission of the British. Then we have the Treaty of Allahabad. You see here, Warren Clive comes back, and then we have on August 12, 1765, Mughal Emperor Shah Alam granted the company the Diwani rights. What is Diwani rights? The right to collect revenue from the province of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. So revenue collection rights was in the hands of the British. The Nizamat functions were in the hands of a deputy Subedar who could not be removed without the permission of the British. 4 days later, after this treaty was signed, which is also known as the Second Treaty of Allahabad, we have the Treaty of Allahabad signed. August 16, 1765. This was signed between Robert Clive, Najamuddaulah, and Shujauddaulah, the Nawab of Awadh. This is called the Treaty of Allahabad. According to this treaty, Awadh was given back to Shujauddaulah. Shujauddaulah was also one of the fellows in the Battle of Buxar. So Awadh was restored back to him, except two areas, Allahabad and Kara. Allahabad and Kara were taken away from the Nawab of Awadh and given to the Mughal Emperor. Okay. Who was the Mughal Emperor? Shah Alam II. Then 50 lakh indemnity, penalty had to be given by Shujauddaulah for having fought against the British. So 50 lakh indemnity he had to pay. Right. Then mutual assistance in case of an attack, and of course we have Shuja to maintain a British force at his expense and give all trading concessions to the company. This is the Treaty of Allahabad. So remember this, February 20th, 1765, Nizamat functions were taken away by the British in the hands of a deputy Subedar. August 12th, Diwani rights were given by the Mughal Emperor to the company. August 16th, the Treaty of Allahabad was signed. Okay. Then what happened is, later we have the Treaty of Banaras signed. Treaty of Banaras. This is the Treaty of Banaras by Warren Hastings. He abolished the dual government. Then he got the Treaty of Banaras signed with the Nawab of Awadh, by which the Nawab of Awadh had to give, he was given back Allahabad and Kara for 50 lakhs. 50 lakhs had to be given by him to the company. And Allahabad and Kara were restored back to the Nawab of Awadh. Why? Because, I give the details here. The Mughal Emperor had been given Allahabad and Kara because he had given them Diwani rights. But then since he had joined hands with the Marathas, he was punished. So Allahabad and Kara were taken away from the Mughal emperor and given to restored back to the Nawab Awad, and the Nawab Awad had to pay 50 lakhs to the company. This is the the Treaty of Banaras. Are you there with me? Hello? This part clear? Okay, right. Anglo-Mysore Wars, you know. Anglo-Mysore Wars, you know. I don't want to discuss, no time. First war, second war, third war, fourth war. First war, 1766 to 69. Okay. Second war, 1780 to 84. First war came to an end by the Treaty of... First Anglo-Mysore War came to an end by the Treaty of... Madras. Treaty of Madras. Second war came to an end by the Treaty of... Yeah, you said something. Bangalore, correct. Third war came to an end by the Treaty of Srirangapatna. And the fourth war, Tipu was killed. Fourth war, Tipu was killed. Yeah? Can I do Marathas? Anglo-Maratha wars? See, every teacher has their own way of presenting. Are you able to catch what I'm doing? Okay. You are finding it useful, more importantly. Okay. I'll discuss the questions. You don't worry about those questions. I will do that. Now, Anglo-Maratha wars. Okay. So where do I start? When did Shivaji die? 1680. 1680 Shivaji dies. Then what happened? Once Shivaji dies in 1680, two of his sons began to fight for the throne. Who are his two sons? Shambhaji and Rajaram. Okay? Shambhaji and Rajaram began to fight for the throne. And there was a civil war in the Maratha kingdom. Shambhaji died in 1689. Fought against the Mughals. He gave shelter to Akbar, Prince Akbar, Aurangzeb's sons. That movie has come now, Chhawa. So you go and watch in case you have not watched. So Prince Akbar was given shelter by Shambhaji, and ultimately Mukarram Khan, one of the commanders of Aurangzeb, killed him. He was tortured and killed. Then what happened? Rajaram came to power. He came out of prison at Raigad and he declared himself Chhatrapati. Okay. Then the Mughals targeted Rajaram. When Shambhaji was killed, his son, his minor son and widow were taken captive. Yesubai and Shahu were taken captive to Delhi and kept there in Delhi. Rajaram fought against the Mughals. Ultimately, Rajaram died in 1700, a natural death. Then, when did Aurangzeb die? 1707. The struggle against the Mughals was continued by Rajaram's widow, Tarabai, who was fighting on behalf of her minor son, Shivaji II. She was fighting on behalf of her minor son, Shivaji II. Okay. Now, Aurangzeb dies in 1707. When Aurangzeb died, who succeeded at Delhi as Mughal emperor? His son Muazzam Bahadur Shah I. Bahadur Shah I. So I'll write here, Bahadur Shah, BS1 I write. Bahadur Shah wanted to break the unity of the Marathas. So what did he do? He released Shahu and Yesubai from Mughal captivity. Okay, who was the leader of the Marathas in Maharashtra? Tarabai. That resulted in a civil war. Shahu versus Tarabai. Shivaji II was still a minor, so Tarabai was running, she was acting as a regent. In the Battle of Khed, when was the Battle of Khed fought? 1707. Tarabai was defeated by Shahu. And a Maratha officer called Balaji Vishwanath had supported Shahu. So with the help of Balaji Vishwanath, Shahu defeated Tarabai, and Tarabai was sent away to faraway Kolhapur. She was sent away to faraway Kolhapur, where she ruled as a separate branch. Shahu made Satara his capital. This was a UPSC question. What was the capital of the Marathas after the fall of Raigad? It was Satara. So Shahu made Satara his capital, and because of the help given to him by Balaji Vishwanath, he appointed Balaji Vishwanath as his Peshwa, who was now not only the Prime Minister but also the Finance Minister. Peshwa plus Finance Minister. Balaji Vishwanath strengthened the hands of Shahu. Okay, he makes Pune his headquarters. And he was Peshwa from 1713 to 20. Once he died, his son became the next Peshwa, Bajirao the First. Have you seen the movie Bajirao Mustani? That is the fellow, Bajirao. Okay, so Bajirao was the one who established the Maratha Confederacy. What is Maratha Confederacy? Please. You have the Maratha Sardars, commanders who were given the license to take their armies and expand the Maratha kingdom. As a result, we have these Maratha families coming into existence. Bhosle, the Holkar, the Gaikwad, Scindia. What was the headquarters of Bhosle? Nagpur. Holkar, Indore. Gaikwad, Baroda. Chudandi, tell me. You should be telling me. Scindia, headquarters Chopade. Gwalior. Maratha kingdom was confined to only Maharashtra during the time of Shivaji. What did Shivaji call that kingdom as? Swarajya. Swarajya, he called it as Swarajya. Peshwa Bajirao the First gave a license to these commanders. He said, you take your army and expand to new areas. As a result, the Maratha flag was fluttering from Ashok in Afghanistan to the river Krishna. He was the second greatest exponent of guerrilla warfare after Shivaji, 1720 to 40. Peshwa Bajirao the First. And he was the one who plundered Delhi, 1737. He defeated the Nizam twice at Bhopal and Palkhed. He defeated the Portuguese at Salsette and Bassein. And he was the one who said, let us strike at the trunk of the withering tree and the branches will fall off by themselves. Unfortunately, when he was born, the astrologers had made a prediction. Your son has an Alpayu, but till he is alive, he'll shine like a sun. And that's what happened. He died at the age of 44, and he had fought 44 battles, and he had never lost in any of them. 1740, Bajirao dies, succeeded by his son, Balaji Bajirao, Bibi Rao, also called Nana Sahib. All the administration was run by these Peshwas. Where was Shahu sitting? Satara. He was a Maratha Chhatrapati, but administration was run by the Peshwa. When Balaji Bajirao was the Peshwa, unfortunately, Shahu died. 1749, Shahu dies, and Shahu did not have any children. Therefore, he left a will. That all the administration would be run by the Peshwa. So from a de facto ruler, he became the de jure authority now. Then, during his period, happened the Battle of Panipat. Third Battle of Panipat. I don't have the time to tell you the details. Fought between Ahmad Shah Abdali and the Marathas. Ahmad Shah Durrani, ruler of Afghanistan, versus the Marathas. And in the third Battle of Panipat, the Marathas were severely defeated. It is said that not a home in Maharashtra did not lose a member of its family. There was a mourning in every house in Maharashtra. Okay, now what happened? Balaji Bajirao died, heartbroken. Okay, the prestige of the Marathas had received a setback. Now, Balaji Bajirao, I'm coming to Anglo-Maratha wars. Balaji Bajirao was succeeded by his illustrious son, Madhav Rao. I'll use another page. Madhav Rao. Madhav Rao restored the lost fortunes of the Marathas. Within 10 years, he defeated all the major powers of India. Nizam was defeated. Hyder Ali was defeated twice. Okay, then all the major powers of North India, the Rajputs, the Jats, the Mangash Pathans were defeated. He restored the lost prestige of the Marathas. But this man, Madhav Rao, died. So here I'll write in short, Balaji Vishwanath, then who? Baji Rao the first, Imandi, then Baji Rao, succeeded by Madhav Rao. Madhav Rao died of consumption. Though in 10 years he restored the lost fortunes of the Marathas, he died of consumption. Consumption meant TB, tuberculosis. He died. Madhav Rao was succeeded by his son Narayan Rao. Madhav Rao was succeeded by his younger brother Narayan Rao. So Narayan Rao was the younger brother. I'll write younger bro of Madhav Rao. When Narayan Rao became the Peshwa, his Peshwaship was contested by Raghunath Rao, younger brother of Baji Rao. Who was Raghunath Rao? Younger brother of BB Rao. Don't write BB Rao in the exam. Baji Rao, right? Okay. Now, this Narayan Rao managed to become the Peshwa. Though this fellow contested, he wanted to become Peshwa. Narayan Rao became the Peshwa. But Narayan Rao himself was killed by his own son, Savai Madhav Rao. So Narayan Rao became the Peshwa. Narayan Rao ruled only for 1 year. 1773 he died. He was murdered actually. Then you have his son becoming the Peshwa. Sorry, Savai Madhav Rao. His name was, in Marathi language, Savai ante Dvitiya, second. Okay, so you can use the word Madhav Rao the two. So Madhav Rao the two, he was still a young boy. He was supported by Nana Fadnis. Nana Fadnavis. Nana Fadnis. This Nana Fadnis supported Madhav Rao. And Narayan Rao, how did he die? He died at the hands of his own minor son, Madhav Rao. Again, this fellow Raghunath Rao tried to become Peshwa. So when Narayan Rao died, Madhav Rao II or Savai Madhav Rao became Peshwa. Raghunath Rao, I'll write here, Raghunath Rao again had tried his luck to become Peshwa. Again he failed. He was frustrated. He became frustrated. So therefore, this Raghunath Rao approached the Bombay government. The company government at Bombay. Chudu sir, please help me to become Peshwa. Those fellows spoke their nose, giving a reason for the British to interfere in Maratha affairs, triggering of the first Anglo-Maratha War. 1775 to 82. 1775 to 82. First Anglo-Maratha War. Bombay government had suo motu interfered in Maratha affairs. They had not taken permission from the Calcutta government. And the Calcutta government was very, very upset. Why the hell did you bloody fellows, without our permission, why did you poke your nose into Maratha affairs? They asked them to back off. Now look here. In the second Anglo-Mysore War, take a minute. Understand here, connection. First Mysore War, 1766 to 69. Who had made an alliance? It was British who had made an alliance with the Nizam and the Marathas in the first Mysore War. He broke that alliance. He isolated the Marathas and the Nizam, isolated the British and defeated them. Second Anglo-Mysore War, it was the British, it was Warren Hastings who made an alliance against the So it was Hyder Ali who made an alliance. So 1780 to 84, Warren Hastings, understand this please, formed an, no, see what it is, Hyder Ali Mysore had formed an alliance with Nizam and Marathas. Look at the date of the second Mysore war and the date of the first Anglo-Maratha war. 1780 to 84, 1775 to 82. Warren Hastings realized that Hyder Ali has brought these three powers together. It will be difficult for the British to fight all the three. What did Warren Hastings do? He promised the Guntur region to Nizam. So Nizam was promised the Guntur region. That fellow jumped out of the alliance. Then he signed the Treaty of Salbai with the Marathas. The Treaty of Salbai, 1782, which promised 20 years of peace between the Marathas and the British. Did you understand? 20 years, British and Marathas are not going to fight against each other. So the Marathas felt, British are not going to fight with us for 20 years. So they withdrew from this alliance made by Hyder Ali. The British isolated Hyder Ali and defeated him. Okay, so here, this first Anglo-Maratha war came to an end by the Treaty of Salbai, 1782. This is the first Anglo-Maratha war. Second war, 1802 to 1806. Second Anglo-Maratha war. Second Maratha war. In one of the internal squabbles, see, these Maratha Chardas, there was no unity amongst them, always fighting against each other. Yashwantrao Holkar fought against the combined armies of the Peshwa and the Sindhya. You see here, who was the Peshwa now? You see here, where I have given. You can చూడండి Madhavrao, after him Narayan Rao, then Savai Madhavrao. Okay, so both the times Raghunath Rao lost a chance, and ultimately Raghunath Rao never became the Peshwa. But after the death of Savai Madhavrao, the useless son of Raghunath Rao, Raghunath Rao was a useless fellow. He had a still more useless son. His name was Baji Rao II. Baji Rao II was the Peshwa. He had become the Peshwa, the son of Raghunath Rao. Now look here. In one of the internal squabbles between the Maratha Sardars, Yashwantrao Holkar of Indore defeated the Peshwa, Baji Rao II. The combined armies of Baji Rao II and Sindhya. This Peshwa got frightened. He ran and signed the the subsidiary treaty. He signed the subsidiary treaty of Bassein on December the 31st, 1802, giving a reason for the British to again poke their nose into Maratha affairs. When he signed the subsidiary treaty, he gave a reason for the British to fight against the Marathas. Now, we have you have Arthur Wellesley. Who was the Governor General? When Tipu was killed, who was the Governor General? Which Wellesley? Lord Wellesley ante? UPSC has asked that question. I'm asking you, that's why. Lord Wellesley, which Lord Wellesley? He is also Lord Wellesley. Lord Arthur Wellesley. Richard Wellesley, he was the Governor General. Richard Wellesley, and his brother was this Arthur Wellesley. Arthur Wellesley also fought against Tipu in 1799, and the same Arthur Wellesley went on to defeat Napoleon Bonaparte in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Same person. Battle of Waterloo, 1815. He defeated. He's called the Duke of Wellington. And his brother was the Governor General of India, Lord Richard Mornington Wellesley. UPSC in the prelims asked this question. Most of the fellows knew Wellesley. They did not know which Wellesley. So these chota mota things make a difference. Read the textbooks widely. Okay, and learn history like a story. Okay, we'll come back here. Now look here. Arthur Wellesley defeated both the Scindia and the Bhosle in the south. So Arthur Wellesley in South India defeated the Scindia and the Bhosle. In the north, we have a person called Lord Lake. He defeated the Scindia at Laswari. In the Battle of Laswari, he defeated the Scindia. And from the Scindia, the British conquered Delhi, Agra, Ajmer. Scindia and Bhosle, this fellow already had signed the subsidy treaty. Oh, the Peshwa. Now, after defeating the Scindia and the Bhosle, the British forced subsidy treaties upon them. They forced subsidy treaties. So from the Scindia, they conquered the Ganga Yamuna Doab. Ganga Yamuna Doab came under the control of the British. And from the Bhosle, the Orissa coast, the British could not defeat Yashwantrao Holkar. Single-handedly fought against the British, along with his ally, the Jat Raja of Bharatpur. The Jat Raja of Bharatpur and Yashwantrao Holkar fought single-handedly against the British. Therefore, the British signed a peace treaty. A peace treaty with Yashwantrao Holkar. This is known as the Treaty of Raighat or Rajpur Ghat. They signed the Treaty of Raighat or Rajpur Ghat with the Holkar. Why did they sign a peace treaty? Because three reasons. One is prospects of Scindia-Holkar alliance. There was a possibility of Scindia and Holkar aligning against the British. Huge expenses which had costed the British in this war, and the looming threat of Napoleon Bonaparte in Europe. They were busy fighting against Napoleon Bonaparte in Europe. Okay, for these three reasons, they signed the Treaty of Rajpur Ghat or Raighat, and they ended the Second War. This is Second Anglo-Mysore War. Whatever I'm discussing, it is there in the PPT, that will be shared with you. Now look here, Third War, 1817 to 18. Third Anglo-Maratha War. According to the subsidy treaty, I'll come to subsidy treaty in some time, just hold on. You have a British resident stationed in the Raja's court. So this fellow, Peshwa Bajirao II, has gone and signed the subsidy treaty. The resident was very, very high-handed, misbehaving, arrogant. So this fellow did not understand the consequences of signing the subsidy treaty. Who this Peshwa Bajirao II? He had lost his independence. He wanted it back. And he was the one who organized the Maratha Sardars. So you have Peshwa attacking the British residency at Pune. He attacked the British residency at Pune. Okay, so then we have at Nagpur, Appa Sahib, the ruler of Nagpur, Bhosle, he attacked the British residency at Nagpur. And Madhavrao Scindia, the son of Yashwantrao, prepared for what? All these, Madhavrao Scindia, he also prepared for war. But then all these three fellows were defeated by Lord Hastings, Lord Marquis of Hastings, in short called Lord Hastings, not Warren Hastings, this is another Hastings, Lord Marquis of Hastings, defeated all of them. And Holkar was now made to sign the subsidy treaty. So earlier, you see here, earlier the Peshwa had signed the subsidiary, Sindhya and Bhosle had been made to sign the subsidiary. Now the Holkar also signed the subsidiary treaty. The Peshwa was pensioned off. Bajirao II was given a pension and sent away to Bithur near Kanpur. When the Sipahi mutiny broke out, this fellow became the leader of the Sipahis at Kanpur, Bajirao II. Okay, this is, and of course the Bombay Presidency was created. Bombay Presidency was created out of the lands of the Peshwas, and also some lands were taken away from the Peshwa, and the kingdom of Satara was created when given away to the descendants of Shivaji. This is the three Anglo-Maratha wars. Clear? Okay. So, and ఇక్కడ చూడండి మైసూర్ ఇక్కడ ఉంది థర్డ్ వార్ ఫోర్త్ వార్ ఓకే fourth war. This is the siege of Srirangapatna, Tipu fighting against the British, right? And this is the spot where his dead body was found. That's not important. Just put some, add some masala to the PPT, just to keep the students interested. Anglo-Maratha wars I have just now discussed. This is there here. Go through it. Hemande, go through it. Okay. Then I have put Punjab, Ranjit Singh, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Anglo-Sikh wars. He had only one eye, though in this painting they have shown him with two eyes. He had only one eye. He had lost one eye like this. He was not winking at anybody. It was just that he had lost one of his eyes when he was a small boy. When he was 5 years old, he had suffered from smallpox. And he had lost one of his eyes. And he had the second strongest army in Asia. Once he died in 1839, the British within 10 years conquered Punjab in 2 wars. So details are ikkada. He was the one who covered the Harmandir Sahib in Amritsar in gold. This is a golden temple. Okay, Amritsar, he was the one who did it. Maharaja Ranjit Singh Ji is called the Napoleon of the East, Lord of the 5 rivers, Lord of Punjab. Napoleon of the East, Sarkar Khalsa Ji, etc. So Treaty of Amritsar, all those things, details are here. Kohinoor diamond, he came to procure the Kohinoor diamond from Shah Shuja. First Afghan war, second Afghan war, what happened after his death, all these details are here. Anglo-Sikh wars, okay, go through it. First war, second war. Treaty of Lahore, Treaty of Bhairowal, all those things. If you go through this, it will be easy to understand. Okay? Then British annexation of Sindh, Ikra, all these things are here. Okay, wait. Questions are not discussed because I have almost run out of time. Just hold on. I have 2 more topics to do. Then I'll come to the questions. Where is the question? Wellesley Ripon. One click, is it? So, play. This is Richard Colley Wesley. Richard Colley Wesley. So what are so again, topics given by the team. So I have made some points. You see, Wellesley is famous for his subsidiarity. What is subsidiarity? Subsidiarity. He was a person who perfected the subsidiarity. Who can tell me what is subsidiarity? What is subsidiarity? Subsidiarity. If you know everything in detail, I will not discuss. That's all. Subsidiarity, you already know. Tell me, what are the consequences of signing a subsidiarity? Sorry? You said something. Can you tell it loudly? Your enemy is my enemy. Then? Full supply army. Okay. Okay, wait. There's a Raja called A. He signs a subsidiarity. Now tell me, what are the consequences? Raja A has signed a subsidiarity. I am Raja A. I have signed a subsidiarity with the British. So what is the consequence? Number one. Very simple. Okay, then. Okay, you know, not that you don't know, you know, but I want you to put it properly. One is, once a Raja signs a subsidiarity, what are the consequences? Number one, this Raja A, number one, has to disband his army. He has to disband his army. He cannot keep his own army. Number two, a British army will come and station itself in his kingdom to give protection to that Raja. Now, this Raja has to pay certain money or subsidy for the maintenance of the British army. He has to pay money or subsidy. He has no money to pay, let us say. If he has no money to pay, he has to set aside a part of his territory, the revenues of which will go towards the maintenance of that army. Either he give money for the maintenance of that army. If he doesn't have money, he has to set aside a part of his territory, the revenues of which will go towards the maintenance of this British army. Number three, a British resident will station himself in the court of the Raja. British officer will station himself in that court. That resident will tell the Raja what he is supposed to do and not do. Okay. What he is supposed to do and not do. So the Raja loses internal sovereignty. He cannot be supreme throughout within his kingdom because now the British resident is dictating terms to him. Next, this Raja cannot enter into any treaty with any other Indian ruler without the permission of the British. So the Raja loses external sovereignty. So there are other Indian rulers here. There are other Indian rulers here. Okay. He cannot enter into treaty with them without the permission of the British. This Raja cannot allow any other European other than a Britisher within his kingdom. These are the consequences of signing the subsidiary treaty. Our idiotic kings did not understand the consequences. They signed it. Then they regretted it. Now, this was a system like you fatten oxen until they are worthy of being devoured. This was a system like you fatten oxen until they are worthy of being devoured. The Raja had all responsibility but no powers. The Raja had all responsibility but no powers. The British resident had all powers but no responsibility. The Raja went into a false sense of security. British army undi, nobody can touch me. So he neglected administration. Who were the sufferers? His own people were the sufferers. Okay, and whenever the British wanted, the British could take over the kingdom. See, that's why I said it was like a system, like the way you fatten oxen until they are worthy of being devoured. You have this Muslim festival called Bakrid. What do the Muslims do? 6 months earlier than the festival, 1 year, they'll get one bakra, sheep, and they keep on feeding the bakra. Okay, the bakra thinks what a life, every day, free food, no work. But it doesn't realize it is being got ready for that day, Bakri, when it will be slaughtered. It was like that. Who was the first ruler to sign the subsidiary? Nizam of Hyderabad. After Mysore, after Tipu was killed, then they forced a treaty on the Wadayar king, Krishnaraja Wadayar III. He was also forced to sign a treaty. Okay. Then of course Awadh was. This is the subsidiary. It was actually Dupleix. Dupleix was the one, the French Governor General of Pondicherry, who began this practice of interfering in the internal affairs of Indian rulers by supporting one against the other. It was perfected by, even Warren Hastings followed this policy, but it was perfected by Wellesley when he added other clauses to this. This is the subsidiary treaty. So, ikkada chudandi, just hold on. So, subsidiary alliance. So, this guy, Lord Richard Colley Wellesley, okay? Also called Lord of Mornington. So this Wellesley, he introduced a subsidy treaty. Then he fought the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, in which Tipu was killed, okay, and they forced a subsidy treaty on the Wadayar king, Krishnaraja Wadayar III. He was just a 5-year-old boy who was made to sign a subsidiary treaty. Then you have the Second Anglo-Maratha War, just now I discussed, Second Anglo-Maratha War. So he fought the Second Anglo-Maratha War, Marathas were defeated at Asai and Argaon during the course of the war. Then we have the Censorship of the Press Act. Okay, to where even before you publish anything, the press is supposed to get it approved by the government. Fort William College, he established the Fort William College to train young civil servants in Indian languages and culture, particularly Urdu and Hindi and culture. Later the college was shifted to Haileybury in England. Okay, details he put in the trade restrictions, he introduced certain trade restrictions between Asia and Europe. Right? Then we have Ripon. This is Ripon, Lord Ripon. Okay. No, so Ripon was the one who succeeded Lytton. Okay. So here, so full name George Frederick Samuel Robinson, first Marquis of Ripon. UPSC, crazy fellows. These fellows are. In one exam prelims, they asked one question in mains. Write about Dicky Bird plan. Now, Dicky Bird, who the hell knows who is Dicky Bird? Dicky Bird was the favorite name of Lord Mountbatten. People knew June 3rd plan, Mountbatten plan of Lord Mountbatten. Dicky Bird, they did not know. If his wife was calling him Dicky Bird in the house, how will anybody know? So people, though they knew the Mountbatten plan, they did not write the answer. When they came out of the examination hall, they came to know Dicky Bird is another name for Mountbatten. It's crazy, actually, unfair on the part of UPSC, I thought. So better know the entire name. Similarly, they asked about Wellesley, Richard Wellesley, Arthur Wellesley. So better know the full name. Mark Ripon. Ripon, he repealed the Vernacular Press Act and the Arms Act. So tomorrow I'll discuss this. But anyway, what is Vernacular Press Act of Lytton? Vernacular Press Act ante emi? Loudly, please. What? Vernacular Press ante local language, correct. What did it contain? Vernacular Press Act. Telugu newspaper undi, Hindi, Marathi undi, Tamil undi. Such newspapers cannot criticize British policies. Okay. So therefore, they used to criticize British policies. Vernacular ante Matrubhasha newspapers. They used to criticize British policies. Lytton passed a law known as the Vernacular Press Act. Tomorrow, before the next day's newspaper is published, a copy of that newspaper will be sent to the government. That the government officials will go through. Okay, they go through the paper. Entire paper is gone. They go through it. Wherever they see that the vernacular newspaper is criticizing British policy, that will be expunged, removed, deleted. Then the newspaper can be published. This is the Vernacular Press Act. Okay, this was because maximum number of people knew Matrubhasha. Okay, and that was the time when you have nationalist feelings spreading amongst the Indians, and therefore this law was brought in by Lytton. Lytton repealed that. The same restrictions were not there on English paper. English paper could criticize British policies, but then please understand, only a microscopic minority knew English, and most of them were stooges of the British. They were all supporting British. Zamindars, rich people, they were middle classes, educated English middle classes. Indians like you and me cannot manufacture or carry a weapon without a license. Britishers, Europeans in India can carry a weapon like a gun or a rifle without a license. So Lytton said it is unfair. Therefore, even a European or a Britisher has to carry a licensed weapon. This is the Arms Act. So he repealed. Ripon was pro-India. He liked Indians. So he repealed both these acts. Then he passed the first Factory Act, which restricted the age limit, below 7 years, below 12 years, all those things. So, machinery were secured. Financial decentralization, sources of revenue were divided into 3 categories: imperial, provincial, divided, like that. Then resolution on local self-government. He's called the father of local self-government, panchayat system, Ripon, right? Then first regular census was conducted during his period in 1881. Then Hunter Commission, which dealt with primary education commission called Hunter Commission. Ilbert Bill controversy. What is Ilbert Bill controversy? I will deal with it when I do Congress tomorrow. We'll come to that. Okay. Then rendition of Mysore ante emi. Rendition of Mysore. You see, rendition of Mysore. Ante, when was Tipu killed? 1799. Tipu was killed in 1799. Then when Tipu was killed, the Wadayar family was brought back. Krishnaraja Wadayar, that third, he was made to sign the subsidiary treaty. He was only a young boy of 5 years. Okay. And Mysore became a protected state. A British resident was stationed here. And to run the administration, the British appointed an officer called Diwan Puranaya. Diwan Puranaya ran the administration of Mysore because the boy was still a young king, 5-year-old. Then, in the year 1911, this boy became an adult. He was ready to take over the administration of Mysore. So, from 1911 to 1931, we have the direct rule of Krishnaraja Wadayar III. He directly ruled. Okay. But because of certain financial irregularities, corruptions, he was supposed to pay a certain amount of money to the British government. He was defaulting. He was not able to pay that amount, a subsidy amount. A British army had been stationed in his kingdom. So he kept on defaulting. You have a number of revolts which began to take place. Ultimately, Lord William Bentinck, in the year 1931, took over the administration of Mysore. So the British began what is called Commissioners' Rule. Commissioners began to rule Mysore kingdom. That's called Commissioners' Rule from 1831 to 81. I read this, 1831 to 81. Commissioners' Rule, 50 years. Like, for example, you have Llewellyn Bentham Bowring, Mark Cubbon. These are important commissioners. Finally, in the year 1881, and the Wadayar kings kept on asking, "Sir, please give back our kingdom." After 1857 revolt, what did the British do? They took over, Parliament took over the direct administration of India, and they abandoned the policy of annexations. After 1857, they abandoned the policy of annexation. So, using that clause, the Wadayar kings began to ask, "Give back our kingdom. You said you will not annex, and you will return back all the kingdoms you keep." Ultimately, in 1881, Lord Ripon gave back the kingdom of Mysore back to the Wadayar family. As a result, Chamaraja Wadayar X, Chamarajendra Wadayar X became the king of Mysore. So, rendition of Mysore ante, Mysore being given back to the Wadayar family. That is called rendition of Mysore. Okay, by Ripon. Then famine code was brought in, and Florence Nightingale was the one who called Ripon the savior of India. What is Florence Nightingale known for? World history has been done for you. World history. Florence Nightingale is a lady who founded the Red Cross Society during the Crimean War. Red Cross Society was founded by her during the Crimean War. So you study that as part of world history. You have a segment of world history, isn't it? Okay. This is about Ripon. Okay, wait. Now, where is that question? Wait. We'll come back to that. Wait, hold on. So this is what I had planned for today. Carnatic War, I will share it with you. Wait. How to go there? Hello, help me. No, not this. Where is that? Chrome, is it? Disk. Disk. This one. This is mine. Or can you call them? We should have one bell here so that a student is not disturbed. Till now, whatever I have done, was it useful? I see that still you need to read broadly. Questions discuss करना बड़ी बात नहीं है. तेलुगु కొంచెం वस्तुंदी. Discussing the questions is not a big deal, but reading much more widely, much more deeply is necessary. UPSC earlier used to ask more questions from modern India. Last 2-3 years, they are asking equal number of questions from ancient and medieval also. Because UPSC came to know most of the students are not even reading medieval India. They are reading some chapters of ancient, focusing entirely on modern. So last 3 years, you see, they are asking questions from post-independence, 2-3 questions from post-independence, ancient, medieval, modern, art and culture. Almost equal number of questions from all these segments are being asked. So you cannot adopt the previous strategy of only relying on modern India to crack the exam, to get more scores in history. Which one? Local discuss. कितने बजे तक क्लास है? हो गया? 5:30 तक है. Okay. That means you are not like my class. Okay. How to go like this? ऊपर से ऐसा जाने का. Wait, this is medieval India, na? Okay, we'll discuss more. We'll come to those questions later. We hold on. We'll look at this. With reference to Indian history, consider the following statements. The Dutch established their factories, warehouses on the east coast on lands granted to them by the Gajapati rulers. We have discussed this. It is which ruler? Which Sultan? Golconda Sultan. Viral. Golconda Babu. Dutch established their factories, warehouses on the east coast on lands granted to them by the Golconda Sultan. Alfonso the Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. That is correct. English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from a representative of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, that is correct. So we have discussed this question. Answer is consider which are correct. So 2 and 3 are correct. 2 and 3. B is the answer. In the first quarter of the 17th century, in which of the following was or were the factories of the English East India Company located? We have discussed this also. Broach is the answer, not Chicago and Trichinopoly. With reference to Indian history, which of the following statements are correct? The Nizam of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad state. Your class is till 5:30? You want to go back? I mean, I'm asking you. Carnatic War, can I do? Just show you the PPT. Chapandi Babu, yes or no? Huh? Say yes or no. No, okay. So here, the Arcot was the capital of Carnatic. And Carnatic, what happened after the decline of the Mughal Empire? The Deccan became independent. And nominally, Carnatic was under the Nizam of Hyderabad. Nominally, ante naam ke vaste. Just by namesake, Carnatic was under the control of the Nizam of Hyderabad. Carnatic was founded by Sadatullah Khan. And Sadatullah Khan, without permission from the Nizam, chose his successor, Dostali. He made his son Dostali the successor. And he did not seek the permission of the Nizam of Hyderabad. In other words, virtually, Carnatic had become independent. So the question here is, the Nizamat of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad state. It is correct. Mysore kingdom emerged out of Vijayanagar Empire. That is also correct. When was the Vijayanagar Empire established? 1336. When was the Principality of Mysore established? It was established in the year 1399. Look here. Vijayanagara was established in 1336 by Harihara and Bukka. In 1399, we have the Kingdom of Mysore. Kingdom of Mysore established by Raja Wadayar. Raja Wadayar. He was the one who established the Kingdom of Mysore around the Principality of Srirangapatna. From 1336 to 1565, Wadayars were under the control of the Vijayanagar rulers. They were feudatories. They were serving as feudatories. In 1565, in the Talikota War, Mysore was defeated. Vijayanagara was defeated. Once Vijayanagara was defeated, the Mysore Wadayar kings proclaimed their independence. Okay, so from 1565 till 1761, they ruled independently. In 1761, Hyderabad took over the administration of Mysore. He usurped the throne from Nanjaraja. Nanjaraja Wadayar was the prime minister. Nanjaraja and Devaraja. Devaraja was the Dalavai, Nanjaraja was the prime minister. And Krishnaraja Wadayar, the first, was only a puppet ruler. So the Nanjaraja was the prime minister. So Hyderabad took over the administration of Mysore, and from 1761 to 1799, father and son ran Mysore. Hyder and Tipu. 1799, Tipu was killed. 1799, the subsidiary treaty was signed. Until 1811, we have the regency of Purnaya. 1811 to 31, direct rule of Krishnaraja Wadayar III. 1831 to 81, commissioners rule. 1881 to 1947, the rule of the Diwans. Saram Vishveshwaraya, Diwan Purnaya, Mirza Ismail, all those people. These are the Diwans who ruled. They ran the administration. Raja was there, but the Diwan ran the administration. This is the history of Mysore. Okay, so they were asked here. The Mysore kingdom emerged out of Vijayanagar Empire, that is correct. Rohilkhand kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmed Shah Durrani, that is not correct. Muhammad Shah Bangash, Muhammad Khan Bangash was the one who founded the kingdom of Rohilkhand. Okay, Rohilkhand in present day UP. So the answer is 1 and 2 only. 1 and 2. A is answer. Okay. Staple East India Company's exports from Bengal in the 18th century. The staple commodities of export were the English East India Company from Bengal in the middle of the 18th century. Where? Raw cotton, oil seeds, opium, sugar, salt, zinc, lead, copper, silver, gold, spices and tea. Cotton, silk, saltpetre, opium. Last D is the answer. Okay. Which one of the following groups of plants was domesticated in the New World and introduced into the Old World? We have discussed this. Okay, what is the answer? Tobacco, cocoa, rubber. Cotton was grown here only in India. Harappans were one of the earliest to cultivate. Coffee was introduced first in Karnataka, in Baba Bunangiri Hills near Chikmagalur. So this wheat was also known for the ancient Indians. But these three from the New World, that is from the Americas. When we say America, South America, North America, Central America, that's Americas. Which of the following statements correctly explains the impact of the Industrial Revolution on India during the first half of the 19th century? First half of the 19th century ante 1800 to 1850. Indian handicrafts were ruined. Machines were introduced in the Indian textile industry in large numbers. Railway lines were laid in many parts of the country. When was the first railway line introduced? 1853, Bombay to Thana. So here, this is automatically cancelled out. Machines were introduced in the Indian textile industry in large numbers. No, they were basically dumping goods from England into India. Okay, so we have three stages of British economic policy. When I come to economic impact of British rule, I'll talk about that. Heavy duties, where this comes later. This fourth choice also comes later. The answer is A. See, you know the answer. Reason also you should know in broad details. So this is more of the economic impact of British rule. I'll discuss it accordingly then. Indigo revolt, part of the peasant revolt. I'll discuss that later. Okay. 10 minutes extra I've taken. Excuse me for that. Okay. I will share some PPTs with you. It will be a supplement to whatever the institute is giving you. Okay. Speed is okay? Okay, carry on. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. 9 o'clock in the morning.